All right, so I did something bad. This is where we are now. I was trying to change the valve springs. Okay, sure. Come on in. All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Yesterday we were on the dyno. The day before that we were getting ready for the dyno. Today is the third day in a row I've been filming. That's the most I filmed in a while. But we're trying to make up for lost time here. I didn't post a video for a little while. But, so we'll talk real quick about yesterday. What happened was, if you guys didn't stick around for the video, essentially I think we're either getting valve float or I was blowing out the spark. The spark plugs that were in there were a little bit on the old side. Even though they looked basically brand new, they were a little bit old. So I got a couple sets ordered on the way. Clinton was nice enough to get us some Brisks plugs. These are the exact same ones that I run, RR10Ss, silver plugs. He also let me borrow his spring compression tool for a Coyote. You do two of them at once, and you can do them with the cams on with this. So I've never done springs before on any motor, but I mean I'm gonna figure it out, just like always on the channel. Like I'm not. That's how we afford this, right? Is just do it yourself. If you don't know how to do it, teach yourself how to do it. You'll save yourself a lot of money. That's what I've done. So we borrowed this from Clinton. This thing was pretty nifty. I've never used one of these. Normally I just like tap the spark plugs until they're the right gap, and then but yeah, this thing was pretty nifty. It like cut my gapping time in half. But so I assume what you do is you take off one of the caps on the cams, screw this down over the top of the cam, and then you thread this bolt in and it pushes down the springs, and pull the spring assembly apart, and then pull the springs out, put the new ones in, and then put it back together, reverse order. You also will need, I'm pretty sure, so right, because we're going to take out the valve retainers. I don't even know if that's what they're called, but there's nothing going to be holding the valves up out of the cylinders. The spring pressure normally does that, but when we remove the spring, there's going to be nothing doing that. So what you need to do is have a compression test tool with a you just need to have a compression testing tool that you can hook up to compressed air, so you can shoot air into the cylinder, and that holds the valves up. Blast some compressed air into the cylinders, that'll hold the valves up while you change out the springs. You guys can all read. Clinton's got jokes. He's cooler than Cy. What does this one say? Oh, drama. That's the name of Clinton's car, is Drama. I'm going to probably just put this on time lapse. I have to tear this whole thing apart. This side was still leaking. I also have to modify the baffles inside these valves, inside the valve covers. So I'm going to get all this stuff taken apart, and I'll catch up with you guys when I have the covers off, the turbos off, everything like that. All right, so I did something bad. This is where we are now. I was trying to change the valve springs without taking the cams out, which is, I'll say, with this tool right here, is totally probably possible. I mean, that's what they say, that it's advertised as, right? You can change it with the cams in, but not, I'll say, not while the engine's in the car, just because you just can't get to the exhaust valves. They're just, the cam sits right over the top of them. You can't see. It's almost impossible to get the rocker out. It would be easier to do the springs with the cams in if the engine was out of the car and on a engine stand, so I could turn it so the deck is like totally flat, parallel with the ground. But you just can't do it in the car. I tried to, and I dropped a valve keeper the very first one that I tried to pull the keeper out, or the very first valve that I tried to do, I dropped a keeper down in the oil galley. So I dropped a keeper down, popped out, went right down here. So I've got this first cylinder done. It's got new valves in, new valve springs rather. Next is gonna be that one. So I'm gonna show you guys real quick. This is all part of the aftermath of the dyno, but so I'm gonna show you guys. It's super easy to do it. I would say if you're gonna do it with the engine in the car, just take the cams off. If you're doing valve springs, you're mechanically minded enough to take all the timing components off, just take it all off. I took everything out, like everything that I got the car to this point. It took me probably like 35 or like 40 minutes yesterday. Just pull the whole radiator and fan shroud and the recovery tank all off as one thing. It's 2 bolts or 2 brackets, one on the top. It's just these 2 top radiator brackets right here. Disconnect the hoses and then lift that thing out of there, and then take off all the timing components. Get a gear pull, a pulley puller, and pull the balancer off, and then it's like 20 minutes worth of work, 30 minutes worth of work that'll save you probably hours of frustration trying to do these valve springs with the cams in. It's just not worth your time. Just take it apart and do it. But we'll go through real quick how to use this contraption. So we'll do this second cylinder right here. Things that you're gonna need. You will need where is it? You'll need something that looks like this. You can connect shop air to one side and screw this into the spark plug so you can put shop air inside the cylinders. That will keep the valves from falling down into the cylinders, so it pressurizes them right from the bottom up, keeps them up. But we'll get this screwed in here. Screw your shop air into the spark plug, down into the tubes. This is going to be like the exact same on both sides. What you're not going to be able to see is what's happening over here on this valve that's on the other side, but it looks the exact same as what's happening right there. Little feet for the compressor goes right on the valve. Okay, that's betterer. Okay, so hook up the shop air. Start cranking down the valves. You can see they start to expose the keepers there. I already did the front side over there, but grab the keepers. There's one keeper right there. There's the other keeper. Go a little further, it doesn't want to come out. There it goes. Okay, so there's the 2 keepers, and then we'll loosen this up. So right now the compressed air is holding the valves up inside the cylinders. Pull the feet off, grab your magnet, grab the retainer and the spring, drop your spring on, other spring, retainer, retainer, you're going to compress the springs. Man, can you guys not even see the valve? They're like perfectly in line for this little thing here. Hold on. Now I think you could probably see better. So We've got the keepers out. The keepers are on the grooves right there. Those are out. Got the new springs are in already. We'll put the keepers back. The easy way to do this is to just get a little bit of some grease, stick it to a flathead screwdriver. There we go, there's one on. There's the second one on, then do the back side. Okay, keepers are both on. Now let's kind of come up, make sure that they don't pop off while you're coming up. New spring valve springs installed. We'll get this exhaust one. I'll see if I can't get a good angle. See if I can't get a good angle on this over here. All right, I think that's gonna wrap up this video. I mean, I could put this all back together. I don't really want to do that. I want to edit this video and post it. I will put this back together on a time lapse on the next video. If you guys are wanting to see that, how that. Oh, we could talk about timing a Coyote, I guess, because I never really talked about timing a Coyote. I talked about degreeing it. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do a separate video on timing a Coyote. The valve springs are done. The garage is a mess. My back hurts from leaning over the fenders. It's great. It's gonna be great. I've got plenty of sets of plugs. I've got like three or four sets of plugs now. I'm gonna gap them. I'm gonna like get them all pre-gapped now. So here's the thing about the valve springs. Once you get the tool and take the cams off, it is stupid easy. I've never done valve springs before, much like a lot of the things that I do on the channel. I taught myself. Watched a couple of videos on YouTube, and then I was like, I could do that. That seems easy enough. So if I can do it, you guys can do it. Just yeah, don't think too much about it. Just stay organized. Unlike me, it might not look organized in here, but it is. I know where everything is. But yeah, just stay organized and like I said, don't think too much about it. But yeah, if you're needing to do valve springs on your own car, definitely I would, you know, pick up that tool or borrow it from a buddy like I did. Thanks again, Clinton, for letting me borrow it. And just do the springs yourself. It's easy. But I think that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Like always, comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.
Take every word, burn it like fluid. Just a red light running right through it. On the top of the mountain, yeah, we float away to the top of the mountain. Yeah, we never coming down from the top of the mountain. I couldn't do it. I take every word, burn it like fluid. Just a red light running right through it. I do it, I do it. For my people, for my team, for anybody trying to give a dream. Back in the day when it was just a dream. Now look at me, on top of the mountain. From the top of the mountain, yeah, we never coming down from the top of the mountain.